computers, and so we cannot check the results or recount them.
A voter verifiable audit trail is a paper record of the vote, ideally a ballot, that the voter can review that records that voter's vote. That record has to be saved. It can't be carried out of the ballot placed by the voter. It's kept in a secure ballot box like any other paper ballot, and it has to be available for a recount. In a recount, if there's a discrepancy between the paper records and the electronic records, the paper records have to have precedence.
My home counties, Broward and Palm Beach counties in South Florida, as well as 13 other counties which make up about half of the vote in Florida, were voting on electronic machines that were incapable of conducting a manual recount in a close election, even though Florida law requires a manual recount. And when we started asking questions of the governor and his appointed Secretary of State, they kept saying, oh no, we can do the recounts, or we don't need to do the recounts because the machines are infallible, which really seemed a bit concerning to me. The last time we heard that a machine was infallible was before the Titanic set sail.
I have met with the scientists about the equipment that they have in Florida. I mean, I got to tell you a little secret. My bank account, if I make a deposit in Jacksonville, you know, they give me a receipt. I can go here in Washington and make a withdrawal. So it's no big deal. The technology is there. So why is it that you have machines that cannot give us a slip of paper verifying that I voted, so we can keep an accurate account of what's going on?
Louisiana held its first touchscreen election in 1996 using Sequoia machines. Local council candidate Susan Bernicker will never forget her election day. Susan narrowly lost and decided to contest the election results and ask for a recount.
Okay, so this is where the warehouse was. They have now moved it since my election. It was back here in these buildings. And this is where I came the day that the warehouses are open to the candidates to inspect. So I came here with an old college buddy, and he is now he's a TV producer, and he grabbed his camera. We walked in and I asked them to show me how the machine worked. They pressed a button and out came a tape. And the tape had the names of the candidates with a total. And I said, well, that's not. I got that on election night, but how do I know? Where do you have like a mark or something that shows each tally of each vote? How do we go back and tally and count the votes? And they said, well, you pretty much can't. And that is when I said, oh my goodness, this is terrible. We can't count our votes. So how do we know this is right? So I just started fooling around with the machine. And it's when I pushed my name, I pressed the button next to my name, and then I look down and I see Mr. Gambaluca's name in the display when I press Susan Bernicker. Shall we do it again?
Do it again.
Yeah. Okay, here we go again. I'm pressing Bernicker. Gambaluca shows up. So we went down the row. We probably tested 15 machines, and I said, you know what, we don't have to test anymore. Again. I'm pressing Bernicker. I got Gambaluca. How easy is it to rig an election where you have a situation in a voting machine that you can't prove the votes?
One way of looking at the worst thing that could happen with an election is it could actually just be stolen. Thousands and thousands of these voting machines are running software written by a small number of people. If one of those people puts something malicious in the software and it's distributed to all the machines, then that one person could be responsible for the change of possibly tens of thousands of votes, maybe even hundreds of thousands.
Since my election, that our state official elections commissioner has been put in jail for accepting money on a fraudulent basis connected